All right. So what we're going to do is, because you may or may not know the people in this group, I want everybody to, we're going to quickly, 15 seconds, just go around, introduce yourself so that we can get to know you, who you are, where you're from, a little bit about Beachbody, and your current status, and we'll go from there. We'll go from my top to bottom, right to left. Jessica, you are up first.
Let me unmute myself. Hi, everyone. I am Jessica Bryson. I am new mom. I say new mom, but God, she's going to be a year in a month, which is impossible because I just had her. I'm from New Jersey, and I've been a coach for almost 4 years. Coming up in July, it'll be 4 years. So I'm a lifetime 3-star diamond, 2-star right now. And I actually just retired from teaching. And so that was huge. I just announced that, and I'm super excited because I was able to extend my maternity leave for almost a full year, and then they were pressuring me to make that decision, and we just made the call. So I'm not going back to teaching in September. I am officially a full-time Beachbody coach. So I'm super excited to be here and in this group because I always learn so much from just listening in on everybody else and what their best practices are. So I'm so excited to hear from you guys. So that's me in a nutshell.
She is full of bubbles. I love it. Thank you so much for saying that. We love that. It is a big move to go full-time Beachbody, and we're excited for you. Great.
Yeah, thank you.
We'll have you go next.
Me? Sorry, I didn't hear. I don't know anybody in the group. So my name's Nicole. I'm a mom of 2, former dental hygienist. I'm a lifetime 3-star. I have 2 diamonds. They're both on one side right now, so I'm a 1-star paid right now. I kind of came into Beachbody coaching with guns blazing and did really fantastic things my first year, and then I got sick, and I really have let the last year and a half get away from me. So I'm kind of recovering and just getting back to trying to get my business back on track and my stuff still back together. That's where I am.
Awesome. Well, you're in the safe zone. We're all friends. No judgment here. We're excited that you're part of it here. All right. Kate, please.
Hi, everyone. I'm Kate Noble. I'm also a new mom. My daughter is just about 5 months, and I live in New York City, but I'm actually a small town girl. I grew up in North Dakota on a farm. So it's been kind of fun to be in the city now and on the East Coast. I have been a coach actively coaching for about 3 years. I'm a lifetime 3-star diamond, but very similar to Nicole. I have 2 active diamonds on one leg and 1 inactive or not holding diamond on the other leg. But it's been a process for me to get back going after having a baby and managing my time. So I'm just excited to be back in here, and I feel like I'm finally getting into a routine. So I'm excited about that and have really big goals. And I want to do the work that it takes to get there. So I'm just happy to be a part of this.
Perfect. Well, you are in the right place. I'm excited for you to learn and to also share your knowledge. That's awesome. Miss Ali Dar, please.
All right. Hi, guys. I'm Allie. I am from Ohio, and I am a mom to 4 little boys, and we are currently pregnant with number 5. I don't know what it is yet, so I'm just going through the first trimester trying to get out of the tiredness and lead my team. We hit elite the past 2 years. I just finally hit 6-star after a year and a half of trying and people dropping, and we just finally hit it last month. But basically, I just want to keep building my leaders and not so much focused on my own rank, but getting them, to the ranks that they want to be at. So that's me.
And we love her. We love her. All right. Ashley, bring us home.
Hi, guys. Sorry if I'm outside. We have a garage sale, and my husband refuses to let me go inside. I'm Ashley. I'm also from Ohio. I live in Columbus, Ohio. I guess I'm a new mom. I'm pregnant right now with my first, I don't even know how many weeks I am anymore, 22, I think. I I forget the questions. I'm an 8-star combined diamond between the 5 CBCs. I couldn't tell you what my rank is right now. I had a really hard first trimester, and I completely lost half of my team to new MLMs. We got hit really hard this year, so I don't even look at rank anymore, if we're being completely honest, because it just stresses me out. And I don't know what else I was supposed to say. I'm really sorry.
Tell us, what's the biggest ticket item you're selling at your garage sale?
A mirror.
How much?
$20 because we bought it brand new and couldn't return it to IKEA.
Oh, that's great. Hey, well, if you need to go make a sale, we totally get it. We totally get it. To break away from the call, we get it. So, great. Well, I'm thrilled to get started with this group. So, once again, so today's topic, if you remember, I sent out a kind of a Google form, like a survey type thing, and had you guys reply back with the top 3 things that you are most interested in talking about as a group, that things that whether you know a lot about or need to mastermind about. And hands down, no questions asked, the number 1 topic was recruiting, which I think is so funny because, hello, we're all top leaders, and it's still something that we deal with. So I recently came back from Boston and went out to do some one-on-ones. And I'm headed to Cleveland and Pittsburgh in 2 weeks. And I can guarantee you, the number 1 topic I'll be talking about with these people is, how can I find more people like me? It's the same question every single time. And it's, as if you know the answer, please let us know, because you'll be the next billionaire if you can find more people like you. So the question then becomes, how can I work with the people that I do recruit? How can I, there's the recruiting, I think there's the attracting, connecting, inviting, which I think you guys are really good at. And then there's the, once they're on board, how can I make sure that they stick past the 1 to 3 month mark? That's still part of the recruiting process. So here's how I want it to go. I can chime in here and there, but I prefer to do the least amount of talking. I think you guys together, especially those in the field, can relate better. But it's okay to talk about, here's some of the struggles I'm having, or here's a question I have, here's how it was in the past, but it's not like that anymore. At some point, though, I'm going to cut you off, and we're going to transition to here is what is what's working. I don't want to stay so much on here's not what's working. I want to make sure that we talk about, here's some things that I've tried in the past. I'm seeing success with this, or I know here's a great website, or whatever it may be, as far as productive, proactive things we can do when it comes to recruiting. So we're all can take notes. But once again, please chime in. Don't be the one sitting back. And I also don't want just one person talking the entire time. This isn't a presentation. This is a mastermind group, so everybody chime in. But does anybody want to kick it off as far as recruiting goes? Questions, concerns, things that you've seen, trends that you want to bring up?
Okay, I'll go. Number 1 thing that does not work for me, and it worked in the past, was I'm motivated by income. That's what moves me. So I love seeing when people do income posts, but I tried doing them my first couple years, and all I attracted was cheap bait. That was my cheap bait to get these coaches signed, and then they come in expecting to make money, and as we all know, this is a slow process, and it didn't work. So that is one thing that doesn't work for me. I can't talk about income. That's just something that backfires. It recruits. It does recruit, but on the flip side, I lose them very quickly when they're not getting that instant success. So that's one thing I found that I steer away from. I'll talk a little bit about it, but more so I talk about the community and the accountability and our team as a whole, and having that sisterhood. Income, as much as I love it, I can't do it anymore. I don't know if you guys have that issue too. Silence.
So I used to be the same way, Allie. I used to talk about income. I'm an income motivated person. Rank's great, elite, all that's fine. But me and my husband do this full time. So this is like that. And you can ask Kevin. I used to be a huge recruiter. I think I was one of his top people with PV last year. And this year, I think I've maybe added like 10 coaches. But that doesn't work anymore. And probably because my income has had a huge drop. So I don't talk about that anymore this year. So I'm kind of in that place too, where I used to add coaches left and right. And now it's a huge struggle of mine, which is really weird, going from 4.5 years to being awesome at it. And now I'm like, I can't even get one new coach. So I'm glad we're doing this topic, because I don't know, hopefully people have other ways that they're finding new coaches to join them, or what's working for them, because Lord knows I need some new blood on my team.
I'm really good at like getting everybody to sign as a coach. And whereas I used to be able to get them to turn and switch from being a discount coach to a working coach, I used to be really great at that. And for some reason, I'm missing that connection again. I can't figure out what I'm doing wrong, and I can't figure out, my challenge groups are crappy. Like, nobody's talking, nobody's posting. And I think that's why I can't make that switch to coaching anymore. So I'm trying to figure out what's going on there, how I, loaded 20 new people on last month, and I can't get somebody to post 5 days in a row in a challenge group.
What I found, something that's working really well for me this year, and I talked to Kevin about it at the beginning of the year, is I put a lot of focus on my challenge groups this year, because I went from having these coaches that would be great and then die off so quickly that I was like, I need to find people that are lifers, because my lifers stick around. My lifers are still with me. And I have one of the best challenge groups I've ever had, and it's ongoing. There's 60 women in it. I don't let anybody else join. But then when I hit my pregnancy, when I got pregnant, I was really sick. I noticed that same shift. I wasn't adding new people. So I actually went back this month, where I required, which is something that I have never done in 4.5 years, I required Shakeology and I required a program. And I said, you got to do it. And I've got 10 people, and I can see all 10 of these people becoming coaches because they love the product already. So I think, at least for me, and I don't know if this helps at all, Nicole, for you, but I had to find my life back into my challenge groups. I had to find that passion, that good time. And we do funky things. We do dance off Fridays. We have good posts. It's just like a big family. But they're becoming my lifers, and anybody that's joined my challenge group has become a coach, and they haven't left me since January, because of the way that the group is ran and the commitment and the accountability.
And and that's the thing, this group in particular is all yoga. So they're all doing the same program, and they all have shake. And it's like, I'm a teeth person, but it's like pulling teeth, like getting anybody to make a friggin' post. I don't understand why. I've tried points, I'm trying to do little challenges every day, just do this post and make points and I'll give away nothing's working. I don't know what it is.
I have one thing that's working. Kevin just heard exactly what Ashley said, but I said that same exact thing yesterday. I had the shift where I was like, you got to commit to doing the meal plan. I have them, they have to do the meal plan checkoff tracker, the 21-day fix tracker inside the challenge group. So I got super strict with my challenge groups instead of just being wishy-washy with, oh, you don't have to do Shakeology because I just want you to be in my group. I'm so desperate to have challengers. I don't want them. And one thing I'm doing is each day I put a poll inside my challenge groups, and it says Thursday check-in, and it says I drank my Shakeology, I did my workout, and I did my meal prep containers, and I told myself I was beautiful. Just a quick check thing. And they are so motivated by it. And I am never.
The one thing I like the app, but I hate that I feel like I can't see anything in it. So I like the Facebook groups better, but I love the check-in on the app. I'm like,
I'm not using the Challenger app.
Well, but I'm saying I love that check-in aspect of it. And I was trying to figure out a way I could do that in my challenge group. And maybe that's the way, maybe to just do a poll every day at a certain time so that they can do their check-in.
Yeah. And then I told them at the beginning, look, there's going to be some tough love. If I don't see you showing up, you're going to get a message from me. And they wanted that. And so yesterday they weren't checking off their boxes as much. And I just popped in there and I said, hey, you guys want me to keep you accountable? I need to see you popping in here. And they started checking those boxes and just keeping them super accountable. And also you doing this, I don't want to be working out and eating clean right now, but I'm doing it with them to show them what's possible. So that's been helping. And I know I'm going to get coaches from that group.
Good idea. Thank you.
Something else I did on along the sides of the post is I have an image I made, and it's a nightly check-in, and I post it like around 6 o'clock at night, and it rates themselves on a scale of 1 to 5, like my nutrition today 1 to 5, my workout today 1 to 5, and if they're posting lower, and like it also I talk about motivation, my positivity today, or sometimes it'll just be like something funny on there, but it's different, like I change it a different one per week, so they kind of know what they're going to be rating themselves on. And if they're low, I check in with them personally, because I'm like, hey, why is your motivation low? Like, what's going on? And they'll just come up and say life happened or something. But then it lets them know that I'm really there checking in on them in a more personal manner, even if I just private message them. So it's something else I've done.
One thing that's really worked for me as well to keep those challengers like started off and to get them really excited from the beginning is any new challenger that I have, I do a 15-minute like goal setting call. And it takes time, but it's been so crucial in like creating that relationship, especially if it's a cold market individual, because you're FaceTiming with them or doing a video call. And then it's just chatting, getting to know each other and talking about goals. And my groups have now set up to be a full year. So if you join, you do the all access pass, you automatically have it for a full year. So we goal set for, a short period of time for the challenge as well as for a year, because I want them to know that I'm with them. And that call has really made a difference in the relationships. And they, I tell them, use the group. The people that use the group are the most successful. And it's made a big difference for me.
Yeah, that's a great idea. I think I'm going to put a post in there if anybody wants to make an appointment with me.
What I love about this is that you're all hovering around, and I just need to make sure we draw out the point is, and this is something that we talk about at corporate all the time, so I'm sure you've heard us say it, but you need to understand the one difference between us and everybody, every other workout program, every other diet, every other YouTube app, whatever, is you. It's the accountability factor. People have tried working out before, they've tried dieting before, they've failed. And so when they say, yeah, I choose you to be my coach, they're giving you that permission to hold them accountable. And that's what your job is to do. They just like I was talking with Ali yesterday, they love being held accountable. It's not an awkward thing, especially if you set it up front where you put together this, hey, this is how it's going to go. Let's talk back and forth, and let's make sure we have an understanding of what's expected. And then if I see you, I love your 1 to 5, scale thing. If I see you kind of pittering off a little bit, how would you like me to respond? How do you want me to hold you accountable? Because we'll all fall. It'll something, but it's okay. I'm your coach. I'm there to help pick you up. How would you like me to do that? People like that. They don't, and there's a difference here. Don't drag them. Hold them accountable. There's a stark difference between the two. A lot of times we feel like we're dragging our coaches along. I can guarantee you're not going to find any success, any future diamonds or above coming out of that. But the cream always rises to the top. I love that you guys give them short challenges. I love that you give them something to do, because through that process alone, certain people will rise to the top, and who you need to spend your time with as far as challengers who need to move into coaching. But if we don't give them assignments, if we don't hold them accountable, we don't know who to work with. We don't know who is the one that's going to get, rise to the top so we can work with them. These are all really good things. Let's keep the conversation going with this. I love this.
I wanted to add, I'm sorry, Ashley. You want to go ahead?
No, you go ahead, Jessica. I'll chime in after.
I just want to add 2 other things that I do, Nicole, that has, because I used to like hear crickets, and I used to be like, why is everybody else saying their challenge groups are like rock stars? And I hear crickets, and I'm like, I think I'm like full of energy. I like to think I try and bring that out of people, but sometimes I'm just like, So I started assigning or asking them to assign themselves to be challenger of the day or coach of the day. And so in the very beginning, I set up a calendar, and they take a day. And then on that day, they're responsible for posting a recipe, a motivational quote or something like that. And then that just helps them kind of take on the coach role without them necessarily knowing it. Because then if they get a good response and they do it a few times, I've had a few transition to coaches from that. So then I've also done Challenger Success Partners. So I partner them up with somebody else in the challenge group, and then they hold each other accountable. So it's not just me checking in on them, it's another challenger. So those are two things I've done that's really helped like bring people to life in the challenge group. And I do stick to the Facebook groups personally, but just me.
I'm just going to piggy off back what Kevin said really quickly. If you guys follow me or know me, I think Allie, I think she's the only really coach that I know. I am a hard ass, and I don't sugarcoat things. My husband is shocked that people like still follow me on my page sometimes at the way I respond. So my people expect that from me. Just that's the type of person I am. And I had to remind my team to give them permission to be the same way. A lot of my coaches will be like, well, I hear objectives, so I don't really talk to them anymore. And I'm like, it is your job to get them over that objection. It is your job to get them over that hump and to hold them accountable. But I basically had to be like, it's okay to have that tough love. And I think sometimes we need to remind ourselves of that as well. Like, that's what our people want. That's why they choose. I know that's why my people choose me, because I don't sugarcoat things. And I think that's also helped me with the coaches that I do have on my team, is because I'm a no nonsense type of person. So my coaches know what I expect from them, especially starting off, and they know what they need to do, and they know not to come to me and be like, well, I'm not working the business and I'm quitting, but I haven't been doing any of these things. So just a reminder, give yourself permission to be that tough love person, because it's okay to do that. That's our job as coaches, to get them over those hurdles.
And let me just add one thing to that, Ashley. That was really good. Well said. As long as they know that's what's coming. I think if you come all of a sudden switch gears and go straight to that tough love, they're gonna be, well, this is not what I signed up to do. But if they know that from the beginning, then absolutely, I'm on board with that. Great.
Yeah,
thing.
I think most people know I'm a blunt to the point kind of girl.
Good. Other things.
Just back on like the recruiting piece, I think for me the struggle, I mean, last month was really bad. I didn't recruit even one coach. So normally I'm doing well with recruiting, but I'm having a really hard time helping my coaches find that initial success. And then that initial success, when they don't get it, they're like, I just don't have time for this. And it's weird because I really did do well with that before. So I'm wondering if I'm just overcomplicating things for them. So that's really what I'm struggling with, is finding those small successes for my new coaches.
So I may be the odd man out, Kate. And this is what I do. Cause like I said, with being pregnant, my focuses are completely different. Elite, Premier, none of that's on my board anymore. But so when my coaches start off the first 30 days, I don't even bring up Success Club. I don't bring up Emerald. I don't bring up any of that. They're 30 days. They're committed to a program. They're committed to doing Shakeology. They have to be in a challenge group. They have to send me their before pictures, measurements, and what. And they're literally sharing their journey for the first 30 days. And I don't focus on any of that. I send them a new coach email. That's theirs if they want to touch it. But what I have found is that they're not pushing to get Success Club. They're not pushing to make the sales right away. They're just sharing their journey. And most of those coaches have success in month 2 and month 3 because they had that first 30 days where they did the program and they focused on that instead of focusing on the business aspect. And I know that may not work for everybody, but for me, I have seen less coaches quit this year than I have in past years by doing that. Because before I was like, you have to hit Success Club and you have to hit Emerald, but those aligned with my goals. It didn't align with their goals. And so that's what's really worked really well for me this year.
Okay, that makes complete sense.
I have to say too, like when the 2 diamonds that I still have that make me my 2-star diamond are the ones that had signed up with me when I first started. And it was before all the coach basics. And it was before we just like threw stuff at them. And we were like, okay, this is what you do, this, and this. And we kind of got away from like forgetting about the fact that the 2 people that I have were my best challengers. And they were the first people that I ever brought on board and did a program with. Mm-hmm. So when they had great success, that's when they initially start that business, you know? And I think going back to having these rockstar challenge groups and bringing that out in people and letting them see success first with the program and with the shakes and really feeling the impact of the products, that's when you get your coaches. And I think we all kind of shifted a mindset like, oh, we got to get our coaches. We got to get these people right off the bat. I've never had one person be successful who didn't do a program first. So I think bringing your focus back to that and really honing in on making them successful through the program that's when you're going to start to see those natural coaches just start to kind of come out.
I also have my new coaches tag me. So if they want to work the business, I make them share their workouts and share their sweaty selfies, the most uncomfortable part. But then I have them tag me on Facebook. One, it kind of helps us because other people are like, oh, she has people tagging her. She's helping people. And two, I know if my coaches do not tag me one day, the next day they're getting a message from me. And they know that too. And I'm like, all right, well, there was no tag yesterday. What happened? Where are you at? And they're like, oh, crap. But it's just a little extra bit of accountability. And it gets that scary sharing out of the way right away.
I love that. And going back to your point, that is gold right there. What you just talked about, how what worked in the past, it still works today. There are a few things here and there that, corporate throws at you guys, that throws everything for the loop, and we do these crazy challenges and groups and everything. You know what? And I feel okay saying this kind of out loud, but those are for the people who need that push, who are, in the dumps and things like, oh, there's a new group, there's a new challenge, I'm going to go after, get a free backpack. Awesome. But for people who already have their head on straight and they know what they want, all these fun things we're doing, that's all right. You just push them to the side. You know what works for you. You know what works for your team. You know what gives you success. You might as well continue doing that rather than trying to run around. Here at corporate, we went through that. I've talked to most of you about this. We went through that same transition. 2016 was the year where we went through that transition of, before then, what worked were challenge groups, helping people see success, and then offering the coaching opportunity to them. And then we just like every other coach here at corporate, we said, you know what, this is great. We need more business builders. We need more points. So let's start flashing points. Let's start flashing business. And we did that. And okay, then it's not working out. That's because that's not who we are. That's not what brings us success. And so for us to focus on that is not going to bring success. And so it's a slower process than I want, but slowly we're moving back to the vital process of, just like what Ashley said, hey, you know what your job is? Press play, drink your shakes, post a photo, give me before and afters. I'm not even talking to you about what else what you need to be doing yet. When the timing's right, when the momentum's right, then we can talk about it. I have this analogy I want to quickly talk about. I hate to chime in and cut you guys off because this is such a great conversation. But I did this on my personal page. If you haven't watched it, I recommend go watching it. But I did a comparison between Insanity Max 30 and your business. And so for those who have done Insanity Max 30, number one, you're nuts, because that's the hands down the hardest program I have ever watched. I've never done it yet, but I've watched a few workouts. Scariest program ever. It's because you go all out. So remember, the concept is on day one, you have your calendar, you go as hard as you can, as long as you can, and then at some point you max out, you write down that time. For me, it's probably 1:15. And then from then on, every time you do that workout, all Sean wants you to do is be 1 second better than you were the last time. So by the time you finish Max 30, you'll see this, oh my gosh, I'm like at 16 minutes now. And before I was like at minute 22. This is great. I've loved seeing this progress. But can you imagine if Sean, on day one, on the program, he looked at you right in the face and said, I need you maxing out at 28 minutes on day one. and some guy off the couch who hasn't worked out a day in his life, if Sean said, I need you to be at 28 minutes on day one, yeah, right. The man would be dead. But yet, so let's relate that to our business. Of a lot of times, as uplines, we get brand new customers or coaches, and we say, guess what? Your job is to do 28 minutes, to be a success starter, hit SC whatever, yada yada yada, and they're like, oh my gosh, there's no way I can do that. But they can say, you can tell them, let's go all out. Wherever you are right now, I want you to do the best you can do. And let's write down what those actions are. Let's write down your time. And then tomorrow, I just need you to be 1 second better. And then after an extended period of time, I don't know what that looks like. I hate to put a time on there because time's not really a factor. But over an extended period of time, they're going to look back and be like, oh my gosh, I was so scared to post my very first before and after picture. And now I got I had no problems posting half naked pictures on Facebook. I mean, that's a progress. They're like, I'm better now. And when it comes to my business, I was scared to invite, but now that I'm okay to invite. And all you as your coach, just like Sean, you're just helping them be 1 second better each day. I really am nervous about these high expectations for coaches and customers when they come in, because they're not used to that. And because it's the gap principle. I'm switching gears just a little bit. For those, I've talked to you a few of you about this gap principle of when they start to where they think you are. If I'm a brand new coach and customer and I join your team and I look at you, you're kind of unreachable at the moment because you're so much higher than I am, and I am not good. And so and the gap is kind of wide. Throughout the process, your job is to narrow the gap as far as me, what I'm doing and what you're doing. Because honestly, the gap's really this wide. It's probably consistency and a little bit of time and experience. That's the difference between you and me. But to me, it's like this. For those of you in Carl's I'm Here to Help group, you know what I'm talking about. Those you're watching these posts of people who are like, I'm going for SC 600. And you're like, holy crap, there's no way I can do that. The gap is so wide. You're looking at it, you're like, I've talked to coaches who have said, I don't know if I'm supposed to be in this group anymore, Kevin, because I don't think I can hit those high SC numbers. The gap is there. I had a coach last week talk to me. She said, Kevin, for the month of May, I hit SC8 faster in that month than I ever have in my entire career. And I feel like I'm not doing very good because she's in this group. That's a scary, scary position to be in. Your coaches who hit SC1 or talk to somebody or invite somebody, they're like, yeah, I got 1 point. You're like, that's congratulations. Guess what? I need you to get 4 more by the end of the month. You're widening the gap. Celebrate them. Like you maxed out. You did the best you could have. That's so awesome. Congratulations. Now let's talk about what you can do to improve on that next time. Continue to fuel the fire. Don't set these crazy high expectations. I need to get off my soapbox now because I sometimes get a little carried away. But that's where, when it comes to recruiting, that's what's going to bring success. It's not drilling them. It's helping them see that they can do this and then hold them accountable so that they can do it and getting better day by day. Sorry, I know I kind of just killed the vibe here.
I really like all those suggestions too, because I feel like the top concern that I have from people is time. I don't have enough time. And I know what I can share from my experience, but just being able, sorry, I've got a talker here, just being able to say, we're just going to share your journey. You're just going to share your journey and get results for yourself first, I think will really kind of take that load off as well. So I really appreciate it.
Yeah. Remember, take time out of the equation. I know sometimes we put timestamps on certain requirements and things you need to do. I get that. But for the most part, please take time out of the equation for you and for your coaches. Don't have them expect to be at a certain level by a certain time. That's just going to lead to disaster. But the behaviors is what you want to reward.
And something I did, Kate, too, to consider time. We used to find that, like our coach basics, we would have people like rampant and ready to go the first couple days, and then they'd fizzle because they, it's one thing one day at a time. So we actually created a self-paced training. And so what they do is they go in to our photo album on our team page and click on it, and they can do 15 days worth in 2 nights if they want to. So then what they're doing is they're using the time that they have to apply it as they can. So they're not under this, well, we have a 15-day training. So after that 15-day training, you're going to be expected to be Emerald and then go to this. So it kind of just allows them to move at the pace that they want to move their business too. So that was one way we got around like the training time restraint. Yeah.
We do the same thing. And let me tell you, it gave me so much more life every month because I wasn't doing the same dang group. And it was the same coaches. They're like, well, I didn't finish last month, so let me join this month. And it'd be like month 4. I didn't finish the last 3. I'm like, so I just did self-paced too because I'm like, I'm not setting up the same group every month. And then I have some people who are like, they're done with day 1 to day 10. They're done in like their first 2 days and they're running with it. Whereas some, they're like, I just need 30 days for the first 10 days of training. I'm like, that's fine. Go at it yourself.
Great stuff. Okay, I want to be sensitive of time. I know y'all have families and things you need to get to, so let's wrap up. I am thrilled with this group, guys. If please show up every time. I love the conversation. I love that we're starting to gel more and more and have great ideas for sharing. This is exactly what I wanted to happen. So I also want to do this. I want to give you two assignments. First, keep the conversation going on our Facebook group. So far, my Thursday group is the best at this. They're sharing, hey, here's a PDF that I put together. Here's a site that I visited. And we didn't even talk about it on here. Let's continue to share. Let's continue to help each other with things. Share as much as you can. Keep the conversation going. Second assignment, I just posted the Elite badge, and some of you are on it, which is great. But what I want you guys to do is think of somebody that you admire, a person you love visiting their page, and try to figure out why that is. Because there's reasons that there's something that they're doing that's attracting you to their page. We need to find out what that is and see if you can't draw a few things of how you can improve, how you attract, how you can connect, and how you recruit people. It's not by chance that these people are getting great numbers. They're doing things on purpose, and we can talk about it next time. But try, research. If you don't, I didn't get her permission, and I apologize. But there's this new coach that just turned 3-star last week, and she is number 15 in the company right now. Her name is Ashley Laughlin, killing it. And she draws me to her page, and I have my reasons why. So if you want to look at her videos, they are spot on. It's Ashley without an E, ASHLY. Laughlin. And so go check her out. She's doing great things. But great conversation. Thank you so much for everybody chiming in. We'll do this again in 2 weeks on a Friday, and we'll see you guys then. Thanks.